Good morning. Today's a great day. The hall is so empty. Shall we all sit back? Be really comfortable. First, just relax. Lights off. You want to be comfortable in your body. So you want to relax first. I want you to settle down, feel comfortable, feel peaceful, enjoy the music. It's okay. Now, deep breath in, deep in. When you breathe out gently. Deep in again. Breathe out gently. One more time. Deep in. Breathe out gently. You find yourself relaxing into the body. Feel the weight of the body. Body is heavy. Posture is straight. And the breathing is easy. The breathing is gentle. The mind is gentle. Many of you feel a tinge of joy to be here in this lovely Dhamma hall, seated before the Buddha. Gratitude fills your heart. Give thanks to your predecessors for having done good, performed the merits, and in this life you have the blessings. Blessings to be born in a safe environment. Blessed with the wisdom to hear the Dhamma and understand. Blessed to be born in an age where there is still Dhamma. Make a vow in your head, make an aspiration in your head to come back to the Dhamma until Nibbana. As you feel the joy, the mind is most powerful. In your own way, make a quiet wish for your loved ones. Bring all the love and metta. Bring it all to the wish. May I be well and happy. May my loved ones be well and happy. Still relaxed, still peaceful. Make your wish, make your aspiration. And then when you're ready, you can slowly emerge from this sitting. Don't open your eyes first, just stretch your fingers. Stretch your fingers. Mindfully stretch your body. Remember this samadhi moment. Remember and recognize this well. After you've mindfully stretched, you can open your eyes. It's okay, right? Anicca. Can you not see the words? You can't see the Dhamma? How is everyone? How was your sitting? So sad. Just you say so short. Everyone else like, get going. Too short. You feel comfortable, all of you? Feel calm? You can do this on your own, huh? Just remember, in order to sit, your body has to be comfortable. Your body is comfortable, it will help the mind to settle. Don't see body no up, okay? Body is very important in the practice. And if you look at the Buddha's teaching and guidance on meditation, samadhi, he always starts with the body, okay? I know some of you are like, let's go to the mind, that's where all the activities are. Yes, fly before you learn to crawl. Why don't you? Okay. Hi, your June holiday never go anywhere? Because there's Dhamma class. Well done. Okay, let's begin. Cula-kammavibhanga Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 135. And for those of you who come here thinking that today is going to be free and easy, relax, think again. Today we're introducing a sutta. And why am I introducing this sutta? Oh, before I forget, Cula-kammavibhanga, the smaller discourse on analysis of karma. Okay, that's what it means. Smaller. Chula means smaller, small. The next one, 136, is maha. It's the big one. So this is a smaller one. Kamma, you know. Kamma is action. Intention generating karma. Okay? And vibhanga means analysis. Okay. So let's start with at least explaining why I chose to throw a long name at you. A lot of people are curious about karma. And today, Buddhism is the big one that talks about karma again and again. Unfortunately, karma or karma has like a popular impression, so many ideas, most wrong. I thought that it is much better to go back to the Buddha and hear him explain it, as opposed to us happily perpetuating our impression. Worse, our views. Impression, at least you like an idea. View sometimes sinks in so deep, and it could be quite wrong, and then you happily share it around because you believe it is right, and the result of which is like that, Lord. All kinds of popular misconception about the notion of karma. Karma, by the way, is an extremely important component of the practice. Most of us are more concerned about the repercussions, the vipaka, the fruit of karma. Most of us are afraid of that. Most of us wonder about that. And then we gave karma a really bad name by blaming it for all the misfortunes of life. But that's not how the Buddha taught. And I say it's important because underpinning this is the notion of responsibility. We take responsibility in how we make choices. And the result of the choices, the results of that is the condition of our mind. The choices we make leading to the condition of the mind that we have to live with. And that actually was the foremost intention of explaining karma. But, like all of us, we are very curious. And then we always ask this question, why? And this is how it starts for this sutta. It was a Brahmin, young Brahmin. That's why he's called Brahmin student. Subba. And Subba, a Brahmin, went to the Buddha. Now, this is the standard line. They all come, they're all very polite. They, hello Buddha, how are you? And Buddha says, I'm fine, thank you. And how are you? And then he says, I'm fine, thank you. So that's the pleasantries that they exchange. Typically in the pleasantries, they include, have you eaten? So Chinese, right? Then they have a short talk, then he sat down. And the moment he sat down in the sutta, he's asked his question, okay? This is his question. So all of Subba's comments are in maroon red. Buddha's reply in black. Master Gautama, when you see the word Master Gautama, you know that the guy is not a student yet. He's not a follower. He was just someone who had heard about the Buddha and his reputation, and being so impressed, came before the Buddha and posed his questions. Master Gautama, what is the cause and condition why human beings are seen to be inferior or superior? People are seen to be short-lived, long-lived, so that's one. The length of life. Sickly and healthy, 2, health. Ugly and beautiful, 3, looks. Uninfluential and influential, 4, the capacity to connect with people and impress people. Poor and wealthy, 5, wealth. Low-born and high-born, social standing. And number 8, stupid or wise. What is the cause and condition? I assume you know inferior means the short life, poor health, that part. That's the idea of inferior, okay? And the Buddha came out with this very famous line which appears here and also appears in some other places. Beings are owners of their actions, heir of their actions. They originate from their actions and bound to their actions. Have actions as their refuge. It is action that distinguishes beings as inferior or superior. Action, bracket, kamma. Kamma actually comes from the verb kar, karoti, to do. So actually it's action. Whereas typically we look at the word karma and we think of consequences. But here the Buddha said, you are owner of your kamma. I'm changing all the kamma word to, all the action word to kamma. You're owner of your kamma, heir of your kamma. You originate from your kamma and bound to the kamma, and kamma as your refuge. These words are important. This is the start point. This is the preamble to the details. So you need to understand how he looked at kamma. Owner of kamma means you get to choose. Before you talk, before you act, in your thoughts, your choice, right? You choose to pay attention. You choose to say things. You can say it kindly, wisely, or you can unleash your feelings and let go in the wrong way. Like, let go. I don't even know why we call that as letting go. Right? You can choose. Owner means you can still choose. But once you have chosen, in that context, in that space, once you have chosen, it will leave an imprint in your mind. So you are heir. Heir because the moment you scold, what happens to your mind? You never scold people before, is it? Like, oh, what a strange word. What is this word, scolding? You never scolded people before? So after you have scolded, okay? After you have scolded, this kind of question must ask the kids. I asked them, they were like, oh, then I get sad. Then they ask the adult, I never scold. I'm pure. I'm a walking saint. Can you not see? So you tell me, once you have scolded someone, how do you feel? A bit down, right? I mean, for one split moment, you're feeling really good. But it lasts for like 2 seconds. And then after that, you feel bad, right? I hope you feel bad, by the way. I'm assuming that you come here to learn the Dhamma, you are the sort that will have like conscience, you will feel bad. Yeah? Even when you think the fellow deserves it. But in school already, you feel a bit bad, right? And then what happened? Then you must tip more because you feel bad. Scold you, I'll give you more tip. Or give you more tip. Or after you're scolded, you want to make amends. Do you? I like you guys a lot. The rest, you feel bad. Then you wanted to do something, right? You inherit straight away, here and now, your choice. Straight away, here and now, you inherit the consequences of that action, that choice. Conversely, some people will accuse, Sister Sylvia always talk about bad thing. Okay, talk about good thing. When you have done something kind, initially you didn't really want to help. Then you tell yourself, Buddha says, chaga, generosity. Okay, I go and help lah. Go and do it. Give PF $10,000, that kind. Eileen, I missed her. She would like, yes, everybody, that's a great idea. Okay. The moment you do something really good, do you feel good? Straight away, I'm so glad there's all this chorus of joy. Yes, yes. Just now you said, okay, we all agree we'll sit. The moment you set and you follow instruction, your body comes, the mind comes, straight away. Then what happened? You're heir, you are the inheritor of whatever actions you chose. This is what it means. You can choose, but once you choose for that occasion, you will have to live with it for a while. Imagine if you are always angry. After a while, would not that becomes your default state? Jialat. Right? Angry, and then you come before the class here, and everybody is coming down except you. Because you're still vibrating and you're trying to let go of yesterday's anger or this morning's anger. Can you see that? Can you imagine how, if you keep doing something, I worry, then I tell you, you got to let go. Then you worry that you're not letting go enough. You worry that you don't know how to do it. It becomes a habit. Basically, air of your action means it's a habit for your mind. And once it is a habit, you have to live with it for a while until you have the wisdom to hear the Dhamma and learn to do spring cleaning of the mind. I mean, not spring cleaning. Is that how it takes? You go home and you start spring cleaning of the mind. You have to basically take it upon yourself to repair, change habit, change things. Do you understand? So originate. There is a very good chance that, in fact, likely it will happen. Your next step. So you see, I angry. They're going to bear with the pain. Following that, still a bit of anger, right? Still there, right? Then how are you going to react? How are you going to act? It's still from that space. Get it? So the next bound, I repeat, you are angry, you choose to scold. After you have scolded, you live with that for a while, that mental state. Next time you see the fellow, you feel awkward or not? Aren't you born of that? Originate from that? Huh? A bit awkward, then don't know how to behave. So from the first action of scolding comes the downstream. But the best part is action as kamma, as refuge. This is the one we want. In fact, this is the important one. The front is important, but this is the one that is unique to the Dhamma. Here, the Buddha is saying, or was saying, because kamma works like that, you can fix it. You can still fix. So now, this guy that you had scolded, you feel awkward, you feel bad, you can go up and say sorry, right? You can go up and make peace. In that sense, the choices that you can make, it's also a refuge. It's also a possibility of repair. And in your mind, when you think about how you can fix a problem, you have a choice to fix that problem. In a way, it brings you some degree of comfort. Do you understand? So, the way that we look at karma should not be deterministic. Remember that. Don't see karma as deterministic. See it as your choice. You have a say. You can run this, and you do wisely. You make choices wisely. Later, okay? You make your choices wisely. When you make your choices wisely, you try and lean it towards wholesome mental state. As you lean it towards wholesome mental states, the mind can heal. The point is, the mind can heal. And the mind can heal according to your level of understanding and wisdom. Yours. Don't go heal other people one. That's not your job. No, this is the part that I need you to also understand. This is all about you. You are the owner. You are the heir. You are born of it, binded to it, but it's also your refuge. You can fix it for yourself. You cannot fix it for another. Because you can't. Look, let me ask you. Okay? Body you are more familiar with, right? Body got medicine to fix. Can you heal another person's body? You say, I'm not a doctor. You tell me if the doctor can do it. The doctor can only create the conditions, cause and condition. But whether or not it will work still depends on your body and still depends on what you're dealing with. Are you applying the right medicine or not? Did you follow the medicine regime with discipline, with faith and confidence and dutifully? But even then, still depend on the condition of your body and how it blends with the medicine. And that's just body, and that's the easy one. Honestly, body is the easy one. You can't do it for another, right? You don't want to be disciplined, eat your medicine, I eat for you. I do it for you. Can you do it? Cannot, right? This one you can laugh. Why is it when it comes to the mind, you think you can fix it? There is a part in us that think that we can help another change. I help change you, okay? I help change you. What did the Buddha say? He can only show the way. If the Buddha can only show the way, the rest of us worse. Okay? I just want you all to understand. Ultimately, it is our personal responsibility to make choices wisely and then happily live with the effects of your choices. Okay? Suba. Suba says, I don't understand, Buddha. I don't understand. I don't understand in detail the meaning. Means I don't really understand. Can you explain further? He said. So essentially this statement is, please say more. Okay? Then the Buddha said, listen and attend closely to what I shall say. This phrase, listen and attend closely. When we are reading the Dhamma on our own, we very happily would just skip this sentence. But this is an important condition. It's an important condition. It's just like for every one of you here. If you are not listening carefully, it's attend, pay attention. You're not listening carefully. In your mind, you're formulating all the arguments already. Then you're not listening. You're not listening, you're not learning. Okay? And the Buddha always has, here in this one he didn't say, but he always adds in one more. Typically when he's explaining the Dhamma, and he wants people to learn, he says, pay attention and hear and remember. Okay? You don't pay attention, you can't hear properly. What is it you're remembering? If you cannot remember, how to apply? In your daily life, how would you apply? Can't be done. So this is important, huh? Okay, come, let's start. Why short life? And this is what he said. The red stuck, shocking pink thing is the inferior, okay? Inferior life. Man or woman, you see Buddha very, equal. No discrimination, man, woman, kills. The next set of expression is important. Murderous, bloody-handed, given to blows and violence, merciless. This is important. It's a condition of the mind. Usually you guys are fixated with one death. Sister, I kill a cockroach. How? Are you murderous? Do you spend your time seeking out cockroaches just to murder them? Murderous, bloody-handed, given to blows and violence, and merciless, i.e. it's a state of mind, not one action. Understand? This, I know, if it makes you feel a bit better. For those of you who are very sorry and sad about killing all those ants, and it makes you feel a bit better, a bit. If you're still doing it happily all the time, then you know you're getting to murderous. I just want you to know that, okay? Then sister says not the killing, yeah. Then but hello, this is not passport for you to for blowtorch. That's murderous, okay? Murderous, bloody-handed, given to blows and violence. So there is a part in you that enjoy it. Enjoy it. Merciless, okay? This is a state of mind. This is a state of mind. So he is saying, this is your state. Because that is your state, you kill. It's like, yeah, let's see how many I can kill today. That kind. Because of performing, undertaking such action on the dissolution of the body after death appears in a state of deprivation, an unhappy destination, perdition, even in hell. But if you don't end up in the worst state, but you instead come back to the human state, then wherever you're reborn, he is short-lived. And he repeated, this is the way that leads to a short life. Namely, that someone killed, but the state of mind is murderous, bloody-handed, instinctively leaning towards violence. And you show no compassion. Compassion doesn't come up for you. This is the condition of the mind, and the action is killing. Okay? Then comes the yellow one, the beige, cream white, off-white. It's all these uninterested people. Abandoning the killing of living beings, abstains from killing. These are two words. Abandon is to let go. So maybe at that point you stop. When you abstain means you will not do it again. No more doing it again. So you stop, abandon, you stop, abstain, done. No more, okay? With rod and weapon laid aside, you are gentle and kindly and abides compassionate to all living beings. So again, we're looking at a state of mind. The state of mind is gentle and kindly compassionate. Abides, you live like that. You live in this state of deep compassion for beings. Okay? Because of performing, undertaking such action on the dissolution of the body, after death reappears in a happy destination, even in the heavenly world. And if he does not, and he comes back as a human, Wherever he is reborn, he is long-lived. So this is what the Buddha said about life span. Okay? Next, sickly. Some man, woman given to injuring. Okay, here he says hand. Smack, smack. Just now killing, he talks about weapon and rod, remember? But here hand. So the assumption that you need something to kill someone. Injuring with the hand, a club, a clod, with stakes, knife, because of performing undertaking such action, he goes down to the lower state. But if he returns as a human, wherever he is reborn, he is sickly. And then, okay, I flip. In good health, abstaining from beating up another. Abstaining from beating up another yields good health. Now, at this point, upon this note, I stop for a while. Please remember, the intent of sharing this really is for you to see and read for yourself the Buddha's words. His guidance on the notion of health and lifespan and all. It is not for you to go around and judge. I stress this, you judge yourself first, okay? If there is any judging to be done, it should be about yourself. Am I kind enough? Am I humble enough? Because subsequently it's all about the state of mind. Am I decent enough? Do I walk the talk? Here I am calling myself a Buddhist. Am I demonstrating through words and action the guidance of the Buddha? Am I demonstrating that? Or am I sitting around pointing fingers everywhere? Am I doing that? Only you know, okay? And then in your mind, whether the mind is full of dreary, hellish, ugly words, or generally quite peaceful, that is also in your mind. That's the intent. I'm not showing up this sutta for you to go around and, hey, last life you beat up people, lor. That's not the intent. Because, honestly, we have all lived through so many lives. So many lives. This life, no more judging. We don't judge. We don't even judge what our predecessors have done. Why would we judge another? We just help each other, do the best that we can for each other. Okay? Remember that, huh? You don't turn around and, sister taught this. Really good, the sutta. Now I understand. Like, no, you are not understanding. Understand the first one. Owner of karma, heir to karma, born of karma, binded to karma, karma is refuge. You want to memorize anything, memorize that one. Okay? Now, physical appearance. Listen to what he says. Huh? Angry, irritable character. Character. Not one day you scold, next day you turn. Face got distorted beyond recognition. Your character. If, for whatever reason, you are someone easily riled up, read carefully, okay? Even when criticized a little, he's offended, becomes angry, hostile, resentful. He displays anger, hate, and bitterness. Can you see how strong those words are? Sister, I last week scold people, how? But are you like this? Not really. Then okay lah, don't worry lah. Maybe got one pimple lor. Really, don't worry so much. But if for whatever reason you are someone like this. Now, if you say, I really don't know what I am I irritable character? Go ask the people closest to you. If for whatever reason you find that there is no one next to you, maybe. maybe there's a pretty good odds you are, but they're so scared they ran away. Okay? But if you're always surrounded by people and everyone's having a wonderful time with you, you're very safe lah. Next life Miss Universe lah. Don't worry, okay? So when criticized, a little, offended, becomes angry, hostile, resentful, display. You're so angry, it must spill out, because otherwise it will blow up. So it must spill out. Display anger, hate, and bitterness. Do you all know people like this? Can you not be so happy like, yes, yes. She's so happy. I'm glad. But actually, many people are like that, right? We see that. No, I see it very often. You know one place to see these things, right? Is at the counter where people complain. You go and be a complaint counter, right? You stand down there. Sure, you see a lot of people, all very entitled people coming and banging table and chair. Okay. If he come back as a human, wherever he's reborn, he's ugly. His appearance has a problem. Okay. And the fact that he says it like this means you're always angry can go down to a state of deprivation. Could also end up taking the wrong bus to the wrong place, okay? And now, so he's all not angry and irritable, even when criticized a lot, okay? Not offended, does not become angry, hostile, resentful, does not display anger, hate, and bitterness. Okay, here comes the practice. Huh? You see someone who always like to criticize, just sit there and then a fellow criticize you, then you, I'm quite peaceful, you say. Probably are, okay? Okay, that's physical appearance. Let me tell you this cute story. It's a really, really cute story. There was a lady, but you all know Pasir Nadi, right? Pasir Nadi is a king during the time of the Buddha, king of Kosala. And for some strange reason, he has the reputation of being fat, because he actually consulted Buddha on diet, but that's a different story. Okay? Anyhow, he's got many wives, and one of his wives, by the name Malika, have you heard of her? Malika is a big sponsor of the Buddha, huge sponsor. So in one sutta, I was trying to find that particular sutta. In one sutta, she also went up to Buddha and asked about, why some people like this, some people like that. And then the Buddha explained, at the end of which she said, oh, now I understand. In past lives, I was very generous, but also very angry. From that, we surmise she must have been not so pretty lah. But anyway, that's a cute story. Okay, the next one. It's quite cute, right? No, she is very honest. I must have done that a lot, but I was so angry, Lord. I'm very angry. Then you are very angry. And by the way, she's also, do you know how he ended up marrying her? Okay, never mind. There's so many gossips. Too many stories in my head. Let go. And then we have time, I'll tell you the story. Okay, let's go. Insignificant or illustrious. Basically, what it means is, there are some people in our life where you will consult them, you will speak to them. They talk and people listen. That's what it means by, a certain standing. They have a certain reputation, they have a certain standing. So some people, when people go to them, they want to listen to them. They will hear, and then they will like, oh, okay, yes, boss. Then there are some people who are insignificant. Insignificant means they kind of go into a room, then they want to talk and no one wants to listen. Like, okay, done. Let's talk. Poor fella is like, I haven't finished talking yet. Yeah, it's like that, okay? How did you become insignificant? According to the Buddha, you are envious. Some man, woman, envious. Resents, begrudges the gains, honor, respect, reverence, salutation, veneration received by others. In other words, this person has a lot of jealousy. Like you say, oh, so-and-so got a prize. And then this person say, very smart me. Like that, that kind. Very smart me. That sort. The resentful, the jealous, They cannot tolerate another doing better. This kind of want to do mudita will do 10 years type, practice mudita, then cannot come out, okay? If he comes back to a human state, wherever he's reborn, he is uninfluential. And then conversely, not the envious type, no envy, no resent, begrudge. Basically, you are happy for another. And you are the sort that you feel happy. The mudita, very strong. You feel happy for another. So I see this cream white a lot here in BF. I see that a lot in people who are typically more spiritual. I see that a lot. And I'm happy for them. No lah, don't say like that. Shh, cannot say like that. Okay, so I see that a lot, and I am very happy for them. Okay, next. Money, ta-da, okay? Rolls Royce. I tried to choose Mercedes or Rolls Royce. Then I say, Mercedes too common already. So too many people drive Mercedes and all. Must be this top end. Does not give food, drink, clothing, carriages, garlands, scents. I can never pronounce that word. You read for yourself. Beds, dwelling, and lamps. So essentially, supporting practitioner. And the Buddha was very fair. Recluses, shramanas. Okay, shramanas or brahmanas. Basically, the people who are practicing to be wholesome, to be good, making effort to rise above the mundane and material world. Any practitioners. As long as you are supporting them, helping them, providing for their needs. Very good. Then conversely, if you are not very helpful to those people, practitioners and all, then according to the Buddha, wherever you are reborn, if you're not supportive, you'll be reborn poor. If you're supportive, you're reborn wealthier. Now, having said that, having read this, I will just point out a few things. In the time of the Buddha, there is no charitable organization. Okay, there's no charity organization. So they say, what about if I were to support, charity organization or people who need help? Do they count? I think so. I must say, I'm now moving away from the precise text, and I will say it this way. You see, in the old days, during the Buddha's time, the only group of people who needed help were these. Financial backing were the Shramanas and the Brahmanas in the time of the Buddha. There was, as I said, no charity organization. They say, homeless, I suspect they don't have homeless. And I suspect they don't have, because in the old days, they all live with families. It's extended families. It is possible that there are poor people. In fact, very highly likely there are poor people. But self-sufficient, supported by family. So in case you go out saying only practitioners, only spiritual people, no. I suspect it is really generosity. It sits on generosity. The generous mind, the willingness to help, the willingness to give. Instead of hold tight. Instead of you holding tightly, you're willing to share. I think that's the intent here. Okay? Next. Low born. Socially poor standing. Low standing. Obstinate. Arrogant. Does not pay homage to one who should receive homage. Does not rise for one in whose presence he should rise. Does not offer a seat to one who deserves a seat. Does not make way for one for whom he should make way. And does not honor, respect, revere, venerate one who should be honored, respected, revered, and venerated. Okay, I will pause here and explain a little. kind of a mind, what sort of a person will not stand up for one he respects or should be respected? He said the word here is should be respected. What sort? You tell me. Proud, yes, absolutely. Proud. Pride. Okay, got it. But if you're lazy but not proud, would you still stand? Odds are you would lah. Odds lah, odds. Okay, we're playing odds here. Any more? Arrogant. So he said arrogant and obstinate. Stubborn. The more your father says stand, the more you say no. Okay, maybe not father, mother. Or anyone. You know, everyone says, hey, we should stand up for so and so. And then you're like, why? I tired today. One of those. But actually the motivation is not about fatigue. The motivation is the mental state. So again, you see, he married a mental state to a choice of action. And the Buddha married that. It is not the action per se, it is the mental state that accompanies it. So for instance, right, someone that is, the world will stand up for. The world will stand, not because he is some CEO of Apple, no. The world will stand up because he's very well respected. We typically will stand up for someone we respect. We just stand up. It's polite, okay? And you don't know the fella is in the room. You're happily still like looking at your text. That's why don't look at your text too much, but looking at your text, right? Then in the meantime, so and so entered the room. Everybody stood up. You are still on your, where to eat, huh? Text, okay? Then you feel really bad. Don't. Then you, now everybody sit down, they're not stand up, okay? Don't feel bad. It is just let it go. Not intentional. In the teaching, it's always intentional. Always. What is the state? What is in your mind? What is in your mind? And therefore, it will affect, it will leave imprint. It will stain the mind. If it has no motivations, no thoughts, feelings, nothing, neutral state, next state, right? There's no staining. In fact, the staining comes after because you feel bad. But actually, there's no staining, okay? Likewise, everybody stand, then you like, oh, I also must stand. Then why? In your head, you didn't say anything. Also, that one is a stain, That becomes a stain. So it is not an action, just the action. It is the mind, okay? So therefore, he said, the one does not have that stain, not obstinate, not arrogant. He's respectful, he's humble. There is humility in this person. And with that humility comes that social standing in a different life. Okay? Everyone okay? Too much already? Okay. Next. Witless and wise. Here the Buddha said, you visit and you ask, what is wholesome? What is unwholesome? What is blamable? What is blameless? What should be cultivated? What should not be cultivated? What kind of action will lead to my harm and suffering for a long time? And what kind of action will lead to welfare and happiness? The Buddha always married these two together. Welfare with happiness, okay? Because of performing that action, if he comes back as a human, wherever he is reborn, he is stupid. I'm just so uncomfortable using the word stupid, okay? And let's just go to the wise. Again, he goes and he asks all these questions about what action lead to my welfare and happiness, and then he performs accordingly, and because of that, it leads to wisdom, wise, okay? Now, back to this one. What did you notice about his advice here? Ask, understand, and follow. Very good. Anything else? Any other observation? Very good. Any other observation? Not philosophical debate, huh? Not like Buddha. Is there life after death? Does life continue indefinitely? What is the meaning of life? Not, huh? It's very practical. What is wholesome? What is unwholesome? What should not be done? How should I improve myself? See that? So, going about attending upskilling courses, don't count, I spent my skill future. That was very good for this life. Does it necessarily make you wiser in another life? According to this statement, 好像不是嘞, like, don't count. Here is someone who reflects a little bit deeper. It is not someone who go through the life superficially. Just go according to your habits, your instincts, follow your feelings. Yes, I go for self-improvement courses, how to impress in public speaking. Skills, competencies, those do not count. Here is very specific. You do a deeper reflection on how you should, what is good, what is not, how you should not conduct yourself, how do you relate to the world. You are spending time improving your mind. Your mind on the issues of morality, on how to be a kinder, better person. So that's why the words are like this. Text, the way it's written, is very specific. How do I do better? How can I improve? What should I avoid doing? So that's a deeper reflection, right? That's why it will help with wisdom. It is not a, I am careful about calling it stupid. I don't think it's cognitive speed. How fast your machine processes data, and then your reasoning is fast enough, you come up with an answer, go. I don't think it's about that. I really think it's about wisdom. Okay? Okay, summarize. What have you read? What have you heard? What's the first one? Lifespan, okay? To me, lifespan, this teaching, this guidance on lifespan really is about how much do we value, care for life. One who respects another's right to live. One who respects another's life. Enjoys that at that time. Because you value life, you respect life, then life, you get to live longer. It is just that. Again, I must repeat, I keep repeating this. Please remember the discretionary note. Do not use this to judge another. This is really all about your own choices. Your own choices, okay? The question of health sits on the propensity for violence. If for whatever reason in this life you had been undertaking actions that actually are aligned with the don'ts. You know that I have done this before. I've beaten a dog to death, one of those kind. Then, my advice to you, it's okay. Now, respect, go SPCA and serve. Go and help. be apologetic, feel bad about it, move on. You will kayena chittena think by body, speech, and mind. If I've done wrong, please forgive me. Do one of those. And now serve. Now help. Now do the opposite to the best that you can. Okay? Forgive yourself. Good that you are here to listen to this. Physical appearance, don't get so angry easily lah. I tell you a really cute one. I know someone who is very sensitive, but every time sensitivity is aroused, she will say, next life looks. Next life. I thought that, right? Next life. And so she used the teaching as a tool to calm her mind, which works, right? It's like, oh, I feel so much better. Quite bimbo, but I thought that was quite cute. But very wisely, this person has made it into guidance. Be less sensitive, don't get angry. After that, next life, ugly, don't want. Say. But it works for her. So yeah, just give you an idea. Influence really it's about jealousy and your resentment. Why he has it, I don't. Why he's so well regarded, I'm not. That kind lah. Huh? Wealth is the capacity for giving and sharing. And to me, really, it's just giving and sharing. Don't end up like this. My money, I give only to monks. Because Buddha say monks and Shramana and Brahmana, I give only to monks. Not it. Do more. Help others. When you act with compassion and help support another, that in itself helps the mind to lift, to be lighter, to be happier. Okay? Social standing. Oh, I have to use a local slang. How readily do you see another up? Because the locals here will understand very quickly what it means. See people no up, see people up, i.e., how humble are you? How much do you respect another quickly? How often do you reflect on the questions of morality and strive to be a better person? Okay? That's the sutta. This sutta, it's easier to understand. There are others which are much harder to understand. So one rare time we introduce a sutta on the Sunday service. Any burning question? Yes, you have. He's first. Yeah. Right offhand. He waited until the end of the talk.
Yeah, I was referring to the first statement, the action, honor of action,
okay,
of actions. Because all these, right, you are keep stressing that it is about the thoughts, right, the mindset. But here, Buddha is talking about action. So my question is like, does this action include thoughts? Okay,
very good question. In another sutta, the Buddha actually said, by intention is kamma. Chetana, intention. So it's not, the word kamma actually means action, but here the action must be intentional. If you walk and step on 1,000 ants along the way with no awareness, there is no killing. There's no action. Okay?
Yeah, I understand that action must come with an intention, then only you have the effects, right? But what I'm asking about is just a thought, like you are angry. Like, I don't know whether this makes sense, but you're angry, but you don't show people you're angry, you're still smiley face, that kind. But your
It's
mental
in there
state,
already.
your mental state
Yeah.
is very ugly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, does that have effects or?
Yes, but the effect is a bit different. You see, that's why the Buddha, amongst the things that the Buddha say you do not speculate on, amongst the things, one of which is karma. Karma, he says, is too complex for most people. In fact, for all but the Buddha himself, you can't quite connect the dots properly because there are so many conditions at play. Specifically, he said, look, the mind is where all the world arises. So even if it's just a thought, but it doesn't come out, that thought, that anger can build. And therefore, it will leave a lot of funny footprints in the mind. Actually, that one is more dangerous. That one is scarier.
So, sorry. So my follow-up question is that, then are we still owner of that thoughts?
Because you have to live with that thought. If let's say you think, let's just give you an example, right? I borrow you, okay? I just borrow. I look at her and I say, only in the head. But you never hear me say, okay? Is it only? I don't like the way she walk, I don't like the way she talk, I don't like the way she think. It's like that, only inside there. Does that, every time I see so and so, will aversion arise? You have your answer. You didn't say a word. Whereas maybe once only, I scold. Then I forgot already. Then next time I see you, hello. So long never see you. Right? So I'm so happy to see you, right? But I scolded once, okay? But I bear no ill will. I scold because it's a bad day, like it's a bad day, hot. It's a bad day, right? But I bear no ill will. And then, that's it. It's over. So actually, the Buddha had said before, what's in the mind, it's powerful. Got to be careful of that. Got to be careful of that. It's not just the way you act and speak. The way you act and speak affects another. Because that's how they see you, ma. But the way you think, the first person who suffers is you, yourself. So someone who is extremely resentful but say nothing. Remember earlier I said, you may stand up, but inside there you're resentful. It's still in the head. The stain is still there. The problems are still there. Okay?
Sorry, so do we have the choice? Because the owners of the actions, you explain it as you
then
have
you
the
must choose
choice.
to let it go. That is the reason. By the way, Dhamma practice, the word we keep using, practice. What does Dhamma practice means? It means you learn to rewire, reshape the conditions of your mind according to how he taught. So one of the things that he talks about again and again is to cultivate metta, right? Cultivate metta, cultivate dana, chaga, generosity, cultivate these saddha, faith, cultivate these mental states. So when these mental states becomes natural for you, they are what will help your mind to tackle the unwholesome that arises. So for instance, if you are a very angry person, I'm not angry, you're a very short-tempered, you're not an angry person, you just got no control over your mouth, okay? Because not mindful enough. So the anger shoots up. It just shoots up, then, gone already. Suppose I say you're like that. Then in your daily life, you again and again, you cultivate metta, wholesome mental state. Metta. Every time you see Buddha, Buddha, cry, bow. Cultivate saddha. You cultivate all these mental states so that if indeed a condition that normally triggers you, but metta is so much apart, you've got so much restore of metta, the condition should trigger you, then you look, and then you see the coming up already, but it didn't come up because metta has choked a big space already. So that's how, by deliberately, conscientiously, rewire, reshape the condition of your mind, you tackle the problems. You don't wait until the trigger is up. Then metta, metta. This is more like a rah-rah show, you know. Like I'm trying to pom-pom your way into victory, but it doesn't work. The conditions are not there. Metta doesn't come up. Buddha says, give metta. Not here, leh. Give metta. May I be well and happy? I am very happy. I'm just not happy with you. So it doesn't work, right? If you say, Buddha says, may I be well and happy. Next is, may you be well and happy. But it doesn't work because the familiarity is not there. Metta is not a familiar. Metta cannot find your house. Metta is outside wandering, looking for your house, right? Whereas if you go to someone's place very often, you know how to find your way there. Blindfolded, you can find your way there. Okay? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody online? On-site first, huh? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Sister Sylvia.
Hi. Yes, now I can see you.
Okay. So
that's Kevin's shoulder talking.
I must stand up because it's very cold. So, can I get some clarification regarding the slides for the wisdom? Because I noticed for both of them, right, the very first sentences they indicate, right, that wisdom comes from you seeking answers or good answers from wise people.
It doesn't say wise.
Yeah, but it says, so from here, some man or woman visits a recluse or a Brahmin and asks the previous...
You assume the recluse and Brahmin wise.
Yeah. Let's assume. But the same statement is stated in the previous slide. It says that some people, does not visit a recluse. In other words, wisdom, I want to clarify that. Does it mean that also that you don't seek proper answers from people? Some people who seek answers,
yes,
therefore develop wisdom. Somebody who don't seek answers at all, right?
Yes.
Doesn't develop wisdom.
Okay. Let me just explain this again. First and foremost, you must understand the Buddha's guidance was delivered in his time. In his time, the people who spent time reflecting more deeply about wholesome, unwholesome, what should not be done for welfare and happiness, the only ones doing that are these. The Shramanas and the Brahmanas. So the recluses, translated as recluses, but actually Shramanas means wanderers. The wanderers who are not Brahmanas. Okay, then there's all this puzzled look. The conventional status quo teaching, faith, religion of the day was the Vedic faith. Vedic. And the priests of the Vedic faith are called Brahmana. Okay? Then it's actually Brahmana and others. But like you see, Brahmana and miscellaneous don't sound so good, right? So Brahmanas and Shramanas. Shramanas are essentially not Brahmanas. You understand? They are not of that faith. They are learning on their own with some teachers, some schools, to try and have an alternative view and understanding of the nature of world, life, for the purpose of knowing what to do with their life. These guys, in the old days, they are not like fancy for the heck of it, let's just go around, chit-chat. They really, when they go and approach these guys, these practitioners, the intent is to understand reality, understand the mind, understand what should or should not be done so that one can feel liberated. That's their journey. Everyone's like that. Okay? Every one of them wants the teacher to explain what's reality. Given this is how you explain reality, what should I do? So that I can ensure welfare for myself in this life, for the next, if I believe in the next. So there are some faith that says there's no next life. There were. And then there's the Dhamma. So you are learning, you're reading the text of a teacher in the context of his time. And these were the social, cultural, political, economic conditions of his time. When you read the suttas, you must understand his time, not your time, not Google Singapore 21st century. It is 2,500 years ago in a somewhat crowded space, prosperous period. This is how you understand the Buddha's time. It is a relatively peaceful, prosperous period, relatively. Nonetheless, in that society, in parts of that world, they have to struggle with the forces of nature. They're very aware of the power of nature, the destructive power of nature. That is why you will hear in his suttas, fire, flood, drought, that sort of things. It will come out, it tells you that in its time, there was that. And it was a society, the political conditions of the time is that there are different, the ruling class, they're all different parts, different political arrangements, different sort of rulers. You cross the gate, it's into another space, that sort of things. Very free-flowing, no passport chopping, just roaming all over the place type. And how do we know it is a period of relative prosperity? Because there are so many people who can become shramanas. And once you become shramanas, you don't deliver economic goods anymore. Okay? You just understand that there are rules of that once you become a shramana or a brahmana, you don't engage in economic production. And because of that, you will have to tap on the resources of that village, that town. Okay? You've got to understand that. In order to understand a lot of things about the Buddha's teaching, why was he very careful and sensitive to public opinion? As long as it does not contravene practice. He's sensitive. Like did you know that in the early days, Buddha did not have wasa? There's no wasa. The monks can just roam all over the place whenever, whatever caught their fancies. But because it's an agricultural society, and in the period, the rainy period, it's where they're waiting. Okay, I'm not. You might have guessed, I'm not a farmer. You might have guessed by now. But my understanding is during that period is when the seedlings are planted and then they're waiting for sprouting harvest. Then you go and walk around, you kill all my seedlings. So people started complaining to the Buddha that your monks are stepping on my food, your food. And the Buddha went, I recognize that, we all stopped. So one period, stop traveling. During that period, you observe the social, cultural norms of the day. Okay? So you've got to understand that. Now, so that is why he says you visit Brahmana Shramanas, because that's their job. Their job is to explore these things, think more deeply, more reflectively, and to guide others. Hey, you don't eat for free, okay? I'm not saying this lightly. I'm saying this is their time. For what they receive, they will give back. So you look at 𝐒𝐔𝐿𝑜 Sutta, and in 𝐒𝐔𝐿𝑜 Sutta, he said, the job of the Shramana Brahmana is to teach you what you have not heard and to show you the way to heaven. That is their job. Heaven in this life, heaven in the next. That's how they pay you back. We take ourselves out of the economic production cycle so that I can devote time to this practice. Then once I've understood better, I help you. This is my sacrifice. Because in those days, you don't engage in economic activity, you can very well starve. So the sacrifice that they make is, I will take up this challenge to think through what is necessary, and I will help you in your life. So that's why you go to these guys for the answers. Okay? So today don't tell me, oh, sister, does that mean I can only go to them? You can go to more. There are wise people in our time, or CPF, we're all very rich, can stay at home and reflect and practice and think about Dhamma, think about practice, and then come along and share. Can be done. Okay? Okay, any other question? Yes. I was just waiting for you to start. I know when you're around, I will have at least one question.
Okay, thank you, sister. Thank you, sister, for the very amusing talk, but meaningful and wise. No, I just got a very short question that requires a short answer. I just want to know whether what you have taught us this today, how does it apply to the non-humans? Because most of them are about humans. So there are non-human rhymes like animals, third go. So how does this apply to them? Just very short answer.
In this life, I'm not part of the other dimensions. I can only offer a view based on my understanding of the Buddha's text. He also didn't directly address an issue like this, okay? I mean, no one in his time asked him, Buddha, celestial being, can they learn? Do they do these things? No one did. I am guessing. I suspect these are all conditions. They're mental conditions. So regardless of what realm, as long as in that realm there are those conditions that permit you to do some things and you make choices, I suspect it will also have the same impact. I suspect. But they live by a different set of conditions for all of them. In terms of physical conditions, they're all very different. Most are spontaneously born. And they may not have the same opportunity to do some things. Now, having said that, we do know, right, in the suttas, that the devas, the celestial and terrestrial being, will come visit Buddha and ask questions. Your Mangala Sutta came from there. They come along and we all have debate, no, but then we got debate. Cannot quite resolve the answer. Can you help us? So they come and they ask. And I suspect that, I believe that would help them also. Okay, short answer.
Any other questions on site? Oh, yes.
Hello, morning. Just a simple question. Can you explain or expand what you mean by blamable and blameless?
You know, blamable means the sort of action that get people going. The cha-cha question, the cha-cha action. Okay, this thing blameless and blameless means sometimes you do things and the world look at it and go, why? Like that lah, huh? Then you say, meaning that comes, because, and the Buddha is very big on this, huh? You are a social creature. You sit, you stay in a social setting. And in a social setting, it is all about fairness, about respect for each other, about care and fairness, right? So usually the blamable actions will be the kind of actions that kind of intrude or disturb the peace, or it cause others to have the arising of negativities. That kind. And that's why they will blame you, lor. They will look at you like that. Okay? So basically, if you go to the teacher and you say, how can I live my life so that I don't cause trouble to others? That's actually what it means. I don't cause trouble. For myself, wholesome, unwholesome, skillful or not. In the Pali text, the word is kusala, akusala. Actually, kusala, akusala, translated as wholesome, unwholesome, but it also means skillful or unskillful. Why skillful? For you to give, you have to overcome your resistance. If you are the sort who are careful with money. See, I'm very polite, huh? We're careful with money. Because we are modest, we are careful, we are frugal. Okay? Frugal is good word, right? Stingy, not good word. Frugal is good word. So we are frugal, right? And therefore, in us, there is always that carefulness, right? And in order for me to be able to give BF $10,000, I have to overcome that internal dialogue and resistance, okay? In order that it can be overcome, does it take skill? It takes skillful talking to yourself. Let go. It's okay. Die already, cannot bring it along anyway. You talk, and then you're convinced, okay, let's write that check, $10,000. Then BF says, sadhu, right? Then you are, wow, I feel very good about this. I feel good, I feel happier, right? It's money well spent because it brought you that joy. Bought you a joy, bought you a certain familiarity with something wholesome. It is money well spent. Not that I'm encouraging you to give 10,000, but just saying, okay? Money well spent. Skill, it takes skill. Skill in what you say. You could have said like that, 10,000 a lot leh. I can go to Japan, first class, and but then as you talk, it's gone down to 9, and then 8, and then before you are done, $100. Unskillful, it's not very skillful. So unskillfully, you go and become more and more resistant. It's just unskillful. Okay? I tell you this one just for a joke, but the real thing is, let's say you're angry with someone. Someone is behaving in a manner that you don't approve of. This person throwing tantrum, don't approve of it. This is where the mind will say, for their own good, I must explain. We do that, right? For your own good. That's not very skillful, by the way. Skillful is, as the Buddha said, first is truth, okay? Untrue, he'll never say. Second, it's said for the benefit of someone. Third, so it's said for the benefit. Third, it must come from a good place. Come with metta and kindness and care. You must know that. Very often, we don't know that. We only know truth and for your own good. We may not know whether or not it really came from a good place within. And then when you say it, because when anger is your driver, agitation, right? For your own good, it's very agitation. When you come from agitation, and at that point when you are going to say it, you are angry, I can guarantee you whatever comes out is going to sound awful. Why you so like that? It was going to sound like that. You need to calm down, breathe, feel metta, feel kindness, then talk. So by the time you're done feeling kindness, I'm like, kind. Whatever come out must be gentle, gentle. By the time you talk, it will be very gentle. Maybe you don't even feel like doing it anymore. Like, sudahlah, done. For her own good now, for your own good, you stop. I repeat, true, for the benefit of someone, coming from the correct space, your heart must be rightly motivated. In the manner of delivery, gentle. Gentle. And finally, the right time. As I said, after you have sorted out your head, sorted in your heart, then you make sure you're calm, then you're now all ready to go, time has passed. Okay, wrong time. Don't say anymore. It's like that, okay? That's why when the Buddha finally talks about something, it's always good. It's always right. Okay, are we good? Any more online?
Yes, there is online question. One is since karma is a personal choice and we can't change that for others, what are some of the conditions we can create for others to create better karma for themselves?
Good question. This is when okay, just a few things here. Number one, and I always say this is, you want to help another understand the Dhamma and walk in the correct direction with you, assuming you are saying, this is correct, okay? Then you must walk the talk. People looking at you feel inspired. Like, oh, very nice, very nice. I really like this. I respect you. I don't stand up for others, I stand up for you type, okay? Then and because you walk the talk, whatever you're saying, you are consistent there in how you talk, this is how you act. This is what it is like in your head, okay? Because of that, others will follow. So you ask me how to create the right conditions for others to follow, you must mimic your practice. Not mimic, wrong word. You must mirror. Wrong M. Mirror the practice. It has to be. So that's 1. 2, when you try and tell people things, they may or may not want to hear. They may or may not can hear you. They may not. Sometimes it helps that another provide that guidance. So if so-and-so are part of your family and they are your children or your parents and you have influence over them, you can't explain the Dhamma very well, you can't help very much, bring them to someone who can. So the teacher, the Bante, the Ajahn, whatever, you can also do that. You can create that condition. If you have a choice of the show to watch a Dhamma show lah. Watch like a Life of the Buddha type. Of course, then there is always a risk that they don't want to watch show with you. But the most powerful is really you mirroring the Dhamma. That creates that condition. Okay?
And one last question is meditation the key to spring clean the mind?
Not the key. One of the keys. The Dhamma has 3 keys. You don't remember anything about the practice, remember three keys. You must have understanding, the correct understanding. Okay? So you do want to learn a bit, understand the teaching. It's an important key. Why? Because what choices we make sits on the perspective we have. Our perspective. You don't realize this. But how you see the world, how you explain the world to yourself, how you look at the world is going to govern the choices you make. If you are of the mind that say, we should all play fair, then the choice you make is, I take one, you take one. If your mind says, no, every man for himself, you don't look after yourself, no one's going to look after you. If your mind comes like this, then when there are things to do, you were the first in the line to grab. Grab for me today, grab for me tomorrow, grab for me, as in case. Then how you see the world is how you will act. That's why the correct view, correct understanding is helpful for the practice. So the first one is views, right view, right understanding. I'm not going to the details. I know half of them are going, wisdom. It is wisdom. Okay, but a specific part of wisdom, right view. Second is in you a desire to learn some restraint of your worst impulses. The greed, the desire, the anger, those are impulses. Those are habits from a different time. And there is a part in you that says, I'm done with being so free-flowing with my feelings and then allowing all these crazy habits to run rampant. I want to learn a bit more restraint. So that's the second one. You do the second one right, better still, pot the second one from avoid evil to doing good, to being proactive in how you help, how you lead your life. Proactive, kindness, patience, respect, humility, contentment, all these mental states. If those become a natural for you, then your meditation is natural. It's a breeze. I keep saying that. That part has to come first. Not the watch my breath first. That comes later. Allow sila, morality, kindness, goodness, allow goodness to become a condition of your mind, then the mental state will go naturally quiet by itself. Natural. Now, Why do we need this natural quiet state? Because if it is noisy, you are being regular, your regular mind cannot see how the mind works properly. If you can't see how the mind works properly, you will always be attached to feeling, to views, to body, to mind, to habits. You are attached to habits. When you are attached to habits, then there will be no change to how you live life. When there is no change, now, if you are the fortunate one and you are generally peaceful and happy, so be it. You change what? Change to become peaceful, more peaceful and happier. Very good. But if you are always so angry, so agitated, so worried, so afraid, so anxious, if that is your baseline, you have to change it. You have to change it. Why are you attached to worry? Good question. But why are you attached to worry? Why are you attached to anxiety? Why are you attached to, I don't know, anger, jealousy, resentment? Actually, that's what you're attached to. If you are stuck in akusala, right, anger, unwholesome, you're attached to that. I'm not attached to it. Then why is it always with you? I don't know, it follows me. That's because you keep calling it. You don't pay attention to that. You don't call it. It won't come. You just think about it, right? If you say, I'm always angry with her. She is not even there. You are just angry. And the thought of her automatically triggered the anger. You ask for it. Literally, we ask for it. You understand? So the meditation, as you put it, is so that the mind develops a capacity to see for itself how it works. And the attachment, your attachment, our attachment to all those negative instincts. How come we are not attached to the positive ones, leh? How come we are also attached to the negative ones? Do you remember the last time you laughed? Okay, now. Do you remember the last time you feel compassion? Yeah, I think so. Maybe last month, 19, I think. They're like, wow. But do you remember your anger? Oh yes, just now. So humans are very cute. They don't like anger. They don't want it. But that's the one that comes on fast, easy. I don't remember the compassion, the generosity, the kindness, the joy, the faith. We forgot all those. So now, have a new bed mate. Have a new companion, a new squatter in your mind. Have a wholesome one. Okay? Done, huh? Done. Okay. Now, yeah. I have advertisement. I don't usually do this, but I do this now because I'm conducting this retreat in July, end of July, in KL. And if you guys are interested, the camera can come out and take a picture. I mean, the QR code. It's in Malaysia. It's one of the rare, how many days are 8 days. 8 days retreat. It's one of those rare times that I conduct an 8-day retreat. Usually it's a shorter one. And my plan is really to cover the Dhamma ground fully. So you must see, please, you must have some experience with meditation. Even better, you've attended DFC before, the Dhamma Foundation course, which is coming up, unfortunately, in September. Not before this. But if you have attended DFC before, do consider coming for the retreat because we are covering the ground. All aspects, all the dots of the Dhamma will be connected as much as I can here. Okay? Now, final slide for me is a reminder to everyone to be chaga. A reminder to everyone that you have been blessed because of others. You know, when you enjoy benefits and blessings and all, it's not your job. It's not you, huh? Don't be very proud of them. It's all the ones who came before doing it right. So in this life, we enjoy the blessings, okay? And you, this life, be the condition, cause and condition for the next one to say, sadhu, sadhu, okay? Do it right for the next fellow who comes along. And I always say this, may the Dhamma last long, may we continue to enjoy supportive conditions for learning and practice, and never deviate from the Dhamma, okay? Finally, I ask of all of you to share merits with Madam Krishnabala Jala, who passed on the 15th of June. Let's just spend a short moment with all of our heart, with all the goodness and kindness that we have, all the merits that we have accumulated today, listening to Dhamma, rejoicing the Dhamma, we will share those merits with Madam Krishnabala. It's a moment for your mind to be settled, and we wish her a good rebirth. May she be well and happy wherever she has a reason. Okay. Whaley's turn.
Okay, let us dedicate merits to all celestial beings. Okay, in the Anjali. Yes. Okay. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahidika punyantam nanumoditva chiram rakantu loka sasanam akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahidika Punyam tam nanumoditva chirarakantu dhamma desana akasata chabhumata devanaga mahidika punyam tam nanumoditva chirarakantu mam param. Dedication of merits. In Anjali, let us invite all sentient beings to participate in our acquired merits. Eta vata 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐼 sampadam punya sampadam sape deva anumodantu sapa sampati siddhya eta vata 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐼 Sampadam punya sampadam sape bhuta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya eta vata 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐼 sampadam punya sampadam sape satta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. Let us dedicate the merits of participating in a wholesome Dhamma activity to our departed relatives and friends. Idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. End of service dedication. I dedicate the merits which I have accumulated to the cultivation of my mind in order to bring happiness and benefits to all sentient beings. I dedicate the merits to my parents, children, spouse, relatives, friends, colleagues, and my adversaries, wishing them long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity. May we never part from the Triple Gem, and may we always walk the path towards enlightenment. Closing homage, let us pay respects to the Triple Gem. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhamma Namasami. Supatipano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sis Sylvia, for the wonderful morning talk, and everyone for coming. Please stay for the potluck lunch if you are free, and may all have a great week ahead.